Hey guys, welcome to Football Masterclass. From this episode, I'm gonna start a series that we will go back in time to relive the moments of the most epic football matches ever been played. For today's episode, let's look into the 2018 World Cup final in Russia between France and Croatia. The last and final match at the biggest football stage in the world, where France looking for the glory in the past and Croatia with a chance of a lifetime to inscribe their name in a football Hall of Fame. Going into this match, the hype surrounding the talented teenager Mbappe was at the highest of all, while on the other side speculation building up about the player of the tournament award, Luka Modric, who later went on to win the Ballon d'Or, surpassing CR7 and Lionel Messi in the second time after Kaká. Let's take a look at the starting lines. France's consistency was the key in this tournament, starting with 4-2-3-1 formation, the same formation against Belgium. It would not be an overstatement to say that the Champs' job is to find a way to unlock the full potential to the French talisman Mbappe. For Croatia, starting their first ever World Cup final in 4-3-3 with the same formation as they beat England to come to this stage. The battle of the middle would be crucial for how this match fanned out. Keep in mind that Croatia has 3 matches in full 120 minutes, while France had not been to one. So, what was the plan? France's defense had proved to be the deadlock for the opponent's attacking unit. Varane and Umtiti forming a close-knit partnership with sheer physical attributes have no trouble neutralizing aerial attempts, guarding by the accomplished Kante with countless unselfish runs. Pogba, therefore, was relieved with less defensive duty and would focus more on linking play and pinpoint long ball passes to start the assault towards Subasic's goal. The partnership between Umtiti and Varane played a crucial foundation for France's counter-attacking. In this play, even caught by surprise, you could see that the two centre-backs maintaining a line and neutralized the counter-attack from Croatia initiated by Perisic. France set P could go unnoticed for the untrained eyes, but in this corner you can see that France used the line concept with the aim to confuse Croatia's marking system by having all of their top players standing in a line. In this corner they were attacking the near post with Maturi breaking from the line and making run towards the near post, with Pavard waiting for the rebounds. If you all remember the goal that he scored against Argentina, which was then the goal of the tournament. Croatia handled this situation quite well as they switched to zonal marking, which would not be affected so much by the French straight line. But one mistake from Perisic cost them a goal from the penalty spot. The Champs' tactical changes were spot on in this match, replacing Kante with Nzonzi. With greater domination in the air, it was even more challenging to penetrate for Croatia. Realizing direct central penetration could be really challenging, Dalic preferred the pockets of space in the half area to fill it with Modric and Rakitic, forming the overload of 3, drilling on France's flanks. Notice the opposite position of Rakitic and Modric, one high up while the other sitting deep. This is quite brilliant by having the top midfielders in the world in either end of the pitch, so ball circulation becomes smoother. Looking closely at the details, notice how Croatia attacking throw-in the offensive third. Modric or Rakitic often moved close to the touchline, luring one French player, in this case was Pogba, to open the gap for Mandzukic. In the first half, Croatia circulated the ball through the versatility of Rakitic and Modric. Notice how both of these players moving back to assist Brozovic when they recognized that passing options were scarce, and also look at the space behind created by Rakitic pulling Pogba out of the position. Compared to Modric, Rakitic sat deep when Croatia was in possession. He was the deep playmaker for Croatia. When moving close to his defensive line, a switching of position happened, as Brozovic would immediately move to France's box in central, drawing attention from Griezmann and Giroud, which would shrink the distance between France's first line of pressing, and in turn opening passing lanes along the half-space line. The 4-4-2 formation that France set up while defending, coupled with French unwavering discipline throughout the competition, forced Croatia to attack along the flanks. In this play, you can see that Lovren had 2 passing options, red line to Brozovic centrally, yellow line to the flanks. Both were wide open, but he opted for the yellow line without taking Brozovic. This came from 2 reasons. First, Modric was forming a 3 overload on the right. Second, Rakitic playing deep. There was no manpower in the middle for Croatia, so even if the pass was made centrally, ball circulation would be cut short. A key thing to notice about Croatia's attacking trio, Rebic started on the flank, but since Croatia often formed a triangle overloading with Modric high up, Rebic drifted inside as indicated in his average position, which he stood level with Mandzukic. Croatia want to use Rebic's speed alongside Mandzukic's height. The ball will be directed to Mandzukic in long ball, and Rebic's waiting for the second ball. In this instance, look at how Croatia front three stretching French defense. The switching of Mandzukic and Rebic was not random. The aging target man was purposely replaced by a younger runner. One mishap from Pogba position and Umtiti lack of aggressiveness almost cost France a goal, as Rebic did have a really solid chance had Lloris not been excellent in display. Part of the reason why Rebic moved to the centre position in the attack was to allow Mandzukic to play on the right, creating a mismatch as Hernandez will mark him instead of Varane or Umtiti. This is quite an interesting tactical piece from the league. French defense was straightforward, old school, but highly effective against teams with aging players like Croatia, having gone through 3 consecutive matches in full 120 minutes, forming a 4-4-2 vertically, but with one key element. If Croatia decides to play the ball through the gap, then the midfield is mobilized immediately to close down the space. The intention is to maintain a strict discipline in a back four, limiting chances that the defenders are drawn out of positions. A possible solution to inflict damages on well-organized structure like what Liverpool has done this year to Atlético in the Champions League, where the fullback advance then cut inside to the half space and take quick crosses into the box. Having a 6'4" player with aerial domination like Mandzukic, Croatia should employ this strategy more often, like in this play, but they did not follow this strategy during the match. When Strinic was forced high up the field, Mbappe was increasingly found sneaking right behind Strinic, keeping in mind that he was 30-year-old at the time, tearing Croatia defense apart with sharp long passes coming from Pogba, like in this instance. This is evidently when looking at his heat map and Croatia average position. Strinic was clearly a target for Mbappe to exploit. The third goal from France was scored just outside the box from a worldy goal by Pogba was the result of this exploitation. After this, the match was finished as France players' athleticism began to show clearly in the later half of the second half. Mbappe had both the time and space to pick his corner and to close the curtain for the final. The World Cup 2018 has gone down in history as one of the greatest tournaments in the modern era. French national team was the most consistent team with resolute defense and highly effective attacking unit. Croatia not winning the gold medal, but has showcased to the world their golden generation with the appreciation of the midfield maestro like Luka Modric.